You are now about to witness the strength of street knowledge.
What's up, ladies? How y'all doing? It is your girl, your diva in knowledge, Lady Mocha, representing Mocha's Ladies Lounge. Definitely want to thank y'all. Appreciate y'all for still being such faithful members. I know it's been a while since I uploaded. I had to detox from the social media just for a little while, y'all. This thing, it can get pretty exhausting at times, especially when, you know, you're constantly having to speak on the same people over and over, especially when it comes to talking about Air Mattress and Motel 6 is what I call them, which I'm definitely going to be going in today to talk about. So, you know, these two individuals, they definitely are mentally draining and mentally exhausting to talk about, but they're always doing something that's drawing attention to them that causes the bloggers such as myself to have to go in. So, you know, I'm going to go in and do my sermon today on when a man is stuck in a rut with his succubus. Yes, that is the sermon today, ladies. So before we get into the sermon, go ahead and hit that like button. All my mods, if you were here, I appreciate y'all because y'all know I always pre-record. So, if in an event I'm busy or something and I don't get to tell y'all thank you. Thank you to all my mods on deck. Thank you to all my members on deck and to all my subscribers. And if you haven't subscribed, just join the family. It's not going to cost you any money unless you want to become a member. If you decide to become a member, it's only $3 a month to tithe into the congregation. So y'all, we got a few things to discuss because I haven't talked with my family. Y'all know I see y'all as family. Y'all more than just subscribers and people who I consider as viewers that helps to boost my numbers, but y'all are actually family. So y'all know we got to go in and talk about this, right? So the first thing I definitely want to talk about, if y'all haven't heard already, and there's been a video circulating going around with Motel 6 and Air Mattress at the zoo together. Now, as you can see in the clip that I'm displaying, Motel 6 and Arion, they call themselves having a little family day. And I'm quite certain in that stroller, even though there's a pink blanket or whatever, I don't know. I don't think they had a baby girl. I just don't think they did. Because me personally, I feel like Air Mattress would have loved to put that out there. She does not like to hide anything that her and Martell have together. I think she relishes at any moment to put things out there. Now, I'm not saying it's not a possibility unless, you know, Martell is making her hold it down. And, you know, when it comes to Motel 6, Arion perceives him as her god. And she's going to worship him and do whatever it takes to make him happy. So, in an event, it's a slight probability, but my assumption is that most likely it is Lil Helmet that is in that stroller. And I think because he's very, very busy, he has issues. They probably didn't want him to walk too much because he's probably a lot to handle, you know what I mean, when he's actually able to walk around. So I think being that they were at this zoo and it was a public place, that was their way of keeping little Helmet in control by not allowing him to walk. Anybody who's been to a zoo knows that a zoo consists of a lot of walking, and then it is also people everywhere, and you don't want these kids wandering off. And I think because little Helmet is a special case scenario, they have to make sure, you know what I mean, that he's not able to be too loose, because they have to run after him probably, and constantly keep up with them. He might be a bit much. He may be very, very active. So, but as you can see, of course, Martell was there. Him and Arion was there together, and it just goes to show that I don't see this as a magical family moment. I don't see this as a moment for them to gloat about. I just think basically what's going on, y'all, is Martell is stuck in a rut with his succubus. He's just stuck, and he's going through the motions. And I think anything he can do to try to give himself a little peace, a little bit of satisfaction, or some sort of contentment, is he has to every now and again do things with the succubus to make himself feel normal, due to the fact that he lost his marriage, he lost his family. To go from that to losing your family, to losing your mansion, your lifestyle, all of that, to downgrade to having to stay in an Airbnb, not having all of your children, you can only see the ones you have from your wife during scheduled visitation, court-ordered visits and stuff. His whole life has drastically changed. And that is the chance you take anytime you lose your marriage to a succubus. There's a high probability that you can lose everything and have to start from scratch, and you basically start from rock bottom. And that is basically what has happened now. If y'all are observing and y'all are woke, which I know most of you are, you can tell Martell looks so out of his element. He looks out of his element with Arion. This was not the life he pictured. Martell went from sugar to trash. Went from treasure to trash. He really has. And this is what tends to happen with men. See, first of all, a lot of women, we think that when men, because we don't see them crying and we don't see them acting stressed out and overly emotional, we think that they don't care. We think that they're not pressed. We think that they are unbothered. But anybody that is spiritually woke and not spiritually broke can tell that Martell is definitely not himself. He's not himself. He don't look the same, ladies. Martell was a very nice looking guy. Now don't get me wrong, he's not an ugly man, but his swag, his image, just everything about him now is so tainted, because the truth is Melody made him look good. Melody made him look better. And I've heard a couple of men even contest to this and say that it was their wives that made them look good, that made them look better. It's like, okay, your pork chops, you steak without your wives, but you steak with the gravy when you're with your wives, because something about just having that feminine energy and support into your life, it just it brings out the best in you, especially if you have a woman that's really down by law for you. She's very supportive of you. She's always striving to make sure you're great. And she's not having to pretend to be that chick. It's just naturally in her to know how to build you as a man. She doesn't have to struggle and learn what it takes to elevate you as her husband, and he had all of that with Melody, and to go from Melody, that's making a big transition. That's like going from a Rolls Royce, to a 86 Honda Accord. Yes, you know, both cars might drive the same and get you around, but the appearance, the feeling is different. And that's basically what's going on. Martell has totally downgraded. You know, he's trying to keep himself sane the best way he can, the best way he knows how. Because you got to remember, in a marriage, that person just was not your wife or your companion. That person was your friend. There was a lot of history. Listen, him and Melody traveled together, went to church together, had great moments together, build legacies together. There was a lot that was invested in that marriage that Martell took for granted. Because in his mind, like a lot of these selfish ass men out here, my wife ain't going nowhere. You know what I'm saying? She got all these kids from me. Nobody not going to want her. Nobody not going to check for her. You know, my wife is more concerned about keeping our family together. So even if I disrespect her, even if I get out of pocket, she's not going to leave because she wants to preserve this image that we're a one big happy family. And sometimes this is the case. But when you become totally disrespectful and you continuously keep repeating the same mistakes over and over and over, it comes to a point when a real woman who has any real dignity or grace about herself, she's like, you know what, I don't give a damn what nobody think of me. I don't care if nobody laughs at me or talks about me. I'm not going to be one of those women that's going to suffer in silence just so I can say I got my husband and I got my marriage. You got women like Tisha, like Kimmy. It's a lot of women out here. They'd rather suffer in silence than to deal with that embarrassment of their marriage not working out, because they don't want to look like a failure. They don't want to look like they don't have their sugar honey iced tea together. You get what I'm saying? So they'll deal with the suffering. They'll take the disrespect over and over and over, as long as it's not loud enough to where too many people can notice it, and that gives them the opportunity to keep covering up and act like it's not there. Unlike with Martell, he did something very loud. He impregnated another woman who was very proud of it, went on social media, acknowledged it, and put it so far out in the open to where Melody could not hide it if she wanted to, and Martell couldn't either. So this is the thing. You have Martell going to the zoo, trying to find some type of contentment. Because you have to realize his life is in shambles. And you got men, they process their emotions different. Women, we may deal with our hurts and pains by talking to our friends, going, having a girls' night, having drinks and dinner. You know, we always trying to find other ways to get past, things that didn't work out. You know what I mean? We deal with it differently. You know, we cry about it. You know, we go through our emotional roller coasters. Men, on the other hand, they process their pain different from us. They may not, ball up in the corner in the fetus position, crying their eyes out. But how they deal with their pain is they have to, you got some men who deal with their pain by constantly having to stay active, doing something, going places, anything to keep their mind from focusing on all of the things that they have lost, because if they wasn't busy or wasn't doing something, their pain to get the best of them. And that is where that low-key bullying, like Martell does, that bullying, that stalking, if you don't have anything else, if you don't have other things to occupy you, that'll give you too much time to reflect on everything that's wrong, everything that you're missing, and you start lashing out, acting out, and that's when you start doing crazy stuff. You start bullying, you start stalking. So Martell, to me, going out to the zoo with a air mattress, I didn't see it as a family event or a family moment. I don't even think he even cared that Ariane was there. He is just trying to find himself and keep his composure maintained. Sitting in the house all day with your succubus and your little Chucky, after a while that starts to wear thin. He has to, unfortunately, as much as we don't like him, and we're not fans of Martell, and we just wish, he would be sent to the pits of hell to never come back. He's still a human being, and I don't say this with as far as we need to empathize and sympathize and have compassion. Absolutely not. I just want y'all to understand psychologically what he's going through with his succubus. And he has nowhere else to turn, okay? He has nowhere else to turn. So, Arion, at this point in time, as much as he does not want her, that is the only thing he can really lean on right now, okay? He has no one to lean on. Marceau and Maurice not even checking for him like that. Martell does not have any real friends. He does not have that much support. You still got some people that's gonna walk with him and side foot with him, like Carlos to a certain degree, but at the end of the day, he is seeing his life is nothing like it used to be. So to keep his sanity, he'll go to the zoo. That just was something for him to do, to get out that house, to get off because me personally, I think Martell is very obsessive with any and everything surrounding Mel. I think that when he's sitting still, he overindulges in things that make him go berserk to a degree. I believe that, as the saying states, idle mind is a devil's playground, and that's the truth. I believe when Martell goes through those moments when there's nothing absolutely going, he's still keeping up with Mel. I believe he's still low key stalking her page. I believe he's low key stalking bloggers that are talking about him constantly and addressing the controversy surrounding him. I think that when he is by himself, he really starts nitpicking and digging into things like a little mischievous child, looking for something to stir him up, to make him mad, because he already wants to be angry. He already wants to be mad. So he looks for any opportunity in which, something comes up, whether if it's pertaining to him or Mel got some good news surrounding her. He looks for something to spark him. He wants to be provoked, I strongly believe, but all that's going to change too for a little while, and I'll go into that momentarily. But nevertheless, Martell is stuck in a rut with his succubus. He does not want to be there, but he knows, based off of his actions and based off of his decisions, that he pretty much has no choice in the matter, and he's not man enough to exit dealing with Arion, period, and just build on his own from scratch, get his own place, get other things going for him. That way he does not have to become codependent on Arion for whatever little bit of support that she is giving him, which is not much. But at this point, the man is desperate. The man is desperate, and he has nowhere else to go. You know what I mean? So, recently, despite all of that, everyone has been talking about it, if y'all haven't heard by now. And it's been confirmed that, Martell has been convicted of domestic violence against Melody Rogers, for those of y'all who wasn't aware. So he was convicted earlier this month for his charge of domestic violence, harassing communications against his ex-wife Melody Rogers. So y'all know about the PV. I'ma just, because YouTube is very picky, but y'all get what I'm saying. But we got the P. It's basically pertaining to the PV video. Okay. So according to court documents exclusively, and I got this from Urban Bell, y'all. Martell was convicted on May 2nd, given a 30-day suspended jail sentence, 12 months of supervised probation, and fined over $500. He is also required not to have any contact with Melody. So, of course, Martell, being a stubborn, miserable individual that he is, he subsequently appealed the ruling and is out on bond pending the appeal. So in other words, this was just a simple requirement. All he had to do was just accept his 30-day suspended jail sentence, which he probably wouldn't even been in there no full 30 days, and his 12 months of supervised probation, and fined over $500. I mean, it's not the worst. Ain't like he had to do not even a year. Nevertheless, Martell is used to not having consequences, because you have to realize the courts have been slapping Martell on the wrist repetitively. So he does not believe in answering for his actions. He just does not. That is why he has become this rebellious, demonic creature, because he's not used to having to deal with consequences. That's why he keeps coming after Mel, who shut the operation down and ended the marriage. He never thought that, Melody would get to that point to divorce him. And now with these courts that's finally putting their foot down, saying, okay, now we're going to go ahead and convict you. This is what it's going to be. Martell does not like consequences. He does not like to have to answer to his actions. But yet, it's funny when it came to the courts. Anytime Mel did not do something or went against something which she really ever did, he would make his business to follow up on it. He made it his business to make sure that the chicken, the 4-piece chicken nuggets, that they could not be posted on any of her Instagram, or couldn't film any of that. All of that to spite her. He wants the courts to basically enforce anything that he tells them to enforce with Mel. But when it's the other shoe on the other foot, he don't feel like he got to honor that. Down to the psychic evaluation test, which has yet to be determined that he even took the damn test. Okay, so the man does not like to follow rules. He does not like to obey. And that is the very reason why hell has spiraled out of control for him, because Martell has always been one to fight against the grain. He will not humble himself. He will not handle things in a manly manner and just let things go. He has to keep pushing things and escalating and raising a bar. And the truth of the matter is, now it's coming back because he's making things worse for himself, So, as previously reported, Martell Holt was arrested in January on a warrant for domestic violence. Melody obtained the warrant for the charge in July 2023. This occurred after a former friend of Martell's, paramour, revealed a plot to use the paramour to release an explicit video featuring Melody on social media. During the latest Love and Marriage Huntsville season premiere, Melody explained what Martell did to lead her to get to that warrant. Melody mentioned that Martell had sent her a text message threatening Melody to stop messing with him. In other words, stop going against me. Stop penalizing me for my actions. That's what Martell, the narcissistic ninja, meant by Melody needs to stop messing with him, okay? He then sent a screenshot from the video they recorded. Love and Marriage Huntsville producers showed a screenshot of the message but did not show the image Martell sent Melody. Melody confirmed the screenshot was from a video they recorded while married. She alleged Martell's plot to expose her under the guise Melody cheated on him with another man. The former friend of Martell's, Palmore, went to social media before the warrant was issued, calling out Martell and her former friend for the plot. Okay, and I believe that's Carson Blue, y'all. She claimed she told Martell's Palmore not to put out the video. Nevertheless, it's also speculated that this may hurt Martell in an ongoing custody case between him and Melody. In the custody case, Melody is seeking full custody and ability for their children to appear on Love and Marriage Huntsville and other forms of social media. According to new court documents obtained by Urban Bell, their custody case is open and no longer in mediation. Martell must also provide proof he obtained a psychological evaluation. The next court hearing for this case is set for June 18th. So, as y'all can see, Martell has not honored anything. And Martell has what I would like to call the spirit of rebelliousness. He is a rebel. And he is a rebel within himself. Martell is such a unadulterated narcissist that he is willing to hurt himself just to hurt Mel. Listen, me working in corrections, I've witnessed it. I've witnessed men that did not mind doing time by simply taking another woman's life. They wanted to make that other woman disappear off the ends of this earth so bad that they would rather serve time for the rest of their life by unaliving a woman who no longer wanted to take the abuse or be with them and deal with the toxicity. You have some people, they will hurt themselves if that's what it takes for them to hurt someone. Okay, those are the times we are in, you know. So Martell is definitely has the spirit of rebelliousness, and it has not worked out in his favor, and he even knows it hasn't worked out in his favor. But Martell is going to keep going and going and going and going until he burns all the way out. He see it's not working his way. It hasn't worked his way for a long time. He has not been on a winning streak with everything that has been surrounding him. It's so blatant in his face that he's steadily losing. But he will fight all the way to the end until he's no longer in a position to be able to fight. Now, even with this recent case, again, he's fighting it. He wants to appeal because he wants to have access to Melody's life. He does not want to have to honor and obey the court order that he cannot be in contact with Mel, because by him not being able to contact Mel, that takes a lot of power and control. He cannot torment her. He cannot bully her. He cannot manipulate her. That's taken away a large percentage of power from him. Okay, because as long as he's allowed to contact her, that gives him room, you know, to target her emotionally, mentally, physically, whatever, however. That is what's upsetting him more than anything. He doesn't care about the court order. It's the fact that it's the requirements of the court order. Meaning that he's required not to have any contact with Melody. Now keep in mind, he's doing this as a stall tactic. Because by him wanting to appeal it, everything is pretty much no, let me take that back. Because I was getting ready to say the wrong thing. But let me get to the other point at hand. But what it does state is now, it's the leverage, it's the power. He's limited. It's restricting him. And Martell hates to be defeated. He hates losing power and control. If you want a narcissistic ninja to ever turn up, baby, take away that power. Take away that control. And there will be an implosion. Now, keep in mind, with this when this court order comes into full fruition, with him having to do a 30-day suspended jail sentence, Martell does not like jail. That's the biggest thing, because in jail he will absolutely not be able to do nothing. Okay? Not only that, his image. He don't want nobody thinking that, the court's got the best of him and he actually has to serve time, because the day he goes in everybody's going to be talking about it. Okay, the bloggers, I know I am, everybody's going to be all over it. He's not ready for that level of embarrassment. Now, he also will have supervised probation. And I always tell people, honestly, supervised probation is worse than jail. Let me tell you why. Because in jail, at least to a certain degree, you're confined. So therefore, you're not going to be allowed or able to get away with a whole lot. You know, when you are incarcerated. And whatever bad choices you make, you're going to be dealt with. You know, you're going to be dealt with in jail. You're going to lose your privileges. You're going to lose your phone calls. You know, it's always going to be something that's going to keep you in alignment. But the thing about probation is that, see, you're out here in the real world. And it's going to come a point when, especially if you have that type of attitude like Martell, well, I'm going to do what I want to do. I don't give a damn what nobody say. You'll end up in worse trouble on probation. Because if you don't have the discipline and you don't have no respect and regards for the law, you're going to be like, you know what, damn that, I'm going to break the court order, I'm going to call her, I'm going to harass her, I'm going to go to her job. It is so many of these men out here who are not afraid of the law. They have no respect for the law. They don't. It's been many women who done got put out restraining orders only for this man to still show up to an apartment, still show up to their home and threaten them. Matter of fact, it was I'm gonna see if I can find it. See if I can talk about it on my next sermon. A young lady who put a restraining order out on a young man she no longer wanted to be with because the relationship was very toxic and abusive, and he actually came to her apartment complex and unalived her in the parking lot. And coincidentally, before he unalived her, the neighbors were seeing what was going on, but everybody was just kind of lost, you know. They figured it was just a regular argument. And she kept saying, I put a restraining order out on him. I put a restraining order out on him. She was letting the neighbors know. But I don't think people really took it serious. You know, you see boyfriend and girlfriend argue, fight. So they saw it was intense. And I remember one of the neighbors even yelled out to him, leave him alone, leave her alone, go away. Nobody thought in a million years this man would pull out, you know, his heater. That's what we call him here in the South. Pull out his heater and unalive this girl right in the parking lot apartment complex. Why? Only because she didn't want him. And he just said, damn the law. Controlling ninjas do not like to be controlled. They don't mind enforcing the rules. They don't mind initiating the rules. But they don't want to follow any rules. Period. Most narcissistic ninjas, they do not like to follow rules, but they want to be able to make the rules as they go, and people honor, obey, and respect their rules. And the moment when they feel, even if they brought upon themselves, that someone is disobeying and disregarding their rules, this is when the turn up escalates at an all-time high, right? So my thing is, if he ends up on 2 months of supervised probation, he's definitely going to go to prison. He's not going to walk clean. And I understand all of y'all frustration. That's the reason why I kind of had backed down not talking about this love and marriage in Huntsville for a while, because it's just very frustrating to just keep seeing Martell get away over and over and over and over and over, and he just keeps getting a slap on the wrist. And it seems like, you know, the courts of Huntsville, which I didn't know, I don't know which consecrated I was watching, but I did not know that Martell was a jailer. I did not know he was a correctional officer one time. So if that's the case, especially in Huntsville, no wonder he may have some type of pull, some type of clout. I don't know, but I've never seen a man get away with this many violations only to keep getting slapped on the wrist, right? But if he gets those 12 months, he's not going to make it. He's not going to be on his best behavior. But what the point I wanted to say was this, though. while a lot of us are upset that Martell keeps getting a slap on the wrist, the way I look at it is that the more they allow him to get away with, the more chances of him hanging himself. As the saying goes, you give people enough rope to hang themselves with, they eventually will hang themselves. And and that's the reason why Martell appealed immediately, because he has gotten so accustomed to the courts not making him answer for anything. So the moment they told this ninja, you're going to have to get a 30-day suspended jail sentence, 12 months of supervised probation, he lost it. Anytime a person is not used to answering to their actions and they're always handed a slap on the wrist, they rebel. That's why a lot of these criminals out here, especially the ones that's been getting away with breaking the law and violating the law for years at a time, and when the judge finally gets to a breaking place to where now they want to sentence them, these are the ones who will go out there and unalive the person who had the balls to stand up to them and report them to the police, because they are not used to having an answer to anything. And because Martell has been on this roller coaster of riding the waves and not really having an answer to his actions, people defending him. You got bloggers defending him. You got the millimeter haters defending him. So the man is not used to not having his way. So now that his back is being pressed against the wall and he's being told, we're going to convict you, we're going to charge you with domestic violence, harassing communications, because you tried to attempt to put out this revenge plea. Now we're going to shut it down. And Martell, being a little boy he is, he wasn't biting. He wasn't going there. He appealed. But let me tell you something. You can appeal something 1,000 times. It does not mean you're not going to be convicted. That's just by law, that if you are convicted with something, you have the right to say, I don't think I should not. Nah, does it mean they're going to hear your side of the story and all of a sudden they change their mind and not convict you? Absolutely not. But it does say, see, the law has to be balanced, because that's how people get off. By saying I wasn't given just, I wasn't given, my rights was violated. To even things out, these courts have to, even those they know that are guilty, they have to give them that privilege to appeal. Does it mean anything? No, that's just a protocol. So nevertheless, he's fighting. And the thing about it is, when a person has nothing to lose at this point, they don't care what they got to lose. So he has nothing to lose fighting Mailbag. All he got is time on his hands. He don't have a job. He don't have any other plans. He's not really doing nothing productive with himself, but staying with a air mattress in the Airbnb, and then he's still out here, from what I'm hearing, frolicking with other females. And no matter what, Ariana's still there. But nevertheless, like I said, we know Martell is going to buck. He's not going to go down without a fight. But this is the thing. Through it all, he is stuck in a rut with that succubus. He is stuck with a woman he really don't want. A woman that he really did not sign up to be with in the end. This was not part of the plan. Yes, it was okay when she was the side chick outside of him and Melody's marriage. It was okay to sneak and creep and commit adultery on your wife, but this was not part of the plan. Martell did not plan to have to be codependent on his succubus, and it's making him miserable, because Air Mattress is nothing like Melody. Nothing. And you can tell they both have emotionally and mentally drained each other. Ariane has put on excessive weight. You can tell in the video she got a little pudge in her stomach. She's not doing nothing with her life. She's not. She went to that gym 1 or 2 times to try to impress us, just to have a reason to get on social media and go live. She done lost herself in him. What has happened, y'all? Both of them have lost themselves in each other. They're together as far as, the succubus and incubus spirit is what's keeping them joined. But in a sense, they both all cursed each other. Martell has not been able to get ahead since Melody left him. Everything he's tried, the wine and clothing underline, everything he's tried, even using people to go against her, everything he done tried has not been enough to get him where he needs to be. And that's the same thing with Air Mattress. That boutique, and of course she got 1 or 2 supporters, but both of them are stuck together in the worst way, in the means of misery. So at this point, they both are so stuck, they don't even know how to feel embarrassed by their actions anymore. That's why they can still publicly go out places, publicly go to the zoo, publicly, because they both have accepted the fact that they are just stuck in a rut. And there's no need to cover at this point. Ain't no need to hide it at this point. There is nowhere for Air Mattress to go, and there's nowhere for Martell to go. They both are stuck. See, it was one thing when you was dealing with the side chick, long as you had your own place to go back to. The plan wasn't to get the side chick pregnant and then have to stay with her and lose your wife. And the process. That's why Martell looks so tired. Listen, Ariane is a lot. She's probably very clingy, annoying. Air Mattress is not. She's not Melody. I don't care how many places they go together. It's not Mel. He feels that empty space. But he knows he can never replace Melody. He knows that. But at this point in time, he got to hold on to what's holding on to him, which is Air Mattress. Other than that, the situation between the both of them is just going to continue to get worse. There's never going to be any growth. They'll never be able to elevate themselves and go to the next level with each other because of how they got together. God don't bless no mess. So it don't matter if they go to the zoo, if they go to church, if they go to Popeyes. It don't matter where they go at. They will never be good for each other. As long as they are dealing with each other, they are going to continue to cursing each other, meaning neither one will grow, neither one will get ahead until somebody gets to that place and says, you know what, we have ruined each other. We don't need to be together. We don't need to be seen together anymore. We don't need to even be dealing with each other anymore. Until one of them gets out of that succubus sunken place and comes to that realization, this is going to continue to keep unfolding. And they're both going to continue to keep withering. They're not going to grow. They're going to continue being stagnant. And that's how I definitely feel about what's going on. So, nevertheless, we definitely, y'all, keep Melody in y'all prayers. Keep those children in prayers. Keep the millimeter haters in prayers, y'all. Because this is another thing I want to say. You got a lot of these queens that are going around here defending Martell. And I'm not even going to get into the content creators. It's so many of them who are doing it. These queens, and y'all know who I'm talking about. Yes, the alphabet mafia, ABCs, you know what I'm saying? A lot of these male queens have been coming for our girl, like a bad habit. A lot of them have been siding with Martell. And we even seen Carlos do it, okay? It's been many of them that was basically praising and giving Martell worship service, giving him praise and worship service. And this is my opinion on that. For all these queens, what y'all got to realize, listen, it don't matter how feminine they are. Underneath their feminine persona, they are still what? What are they? They are black men. Okay? All right? Let's keep it 100. You just have some black men who do not like black women. And you have some that choose to go one or two ways. You have the straight ones where he'll just stay away from black women. These are the ones that marry the Asians, the snow bunnies, the trailer park bunnies, you know, whatever. They'll go that way. They don't change their personality. They'll just date outside their race if they have a disdain for black women. But when we talk about these male queens, right? Because I just really wanted to address this because I've been noticing this. I've been people for the clouds. Some of them want so badly to be us that they despise us, okay? But yet, they'll use us. They'll use our support. They'll use whatever struggles they think we have as black women. If they got to pretend to like us, building us up just so they can tear us down. You got them kind too that act like they like us, act like they for us, only to have a situation or a misunderstanding, and then they messier than women. They airing it all out, you know, because the truth of the matter is a lot of these queens, the reason they riding for Martell is because they are still black men at the end of the day. And if they are black men who have a disdain with black women, now, and I know what y'all get, and I get it. Some of them, they don't act like that with all women. They just got an issue with male. Okay, whatever the case may be. The thing about it is, just like you have black women that are jealous of black women, don't think these queens ain't jealous of black women. Okay? The fact that we are authentically women. You'll be surprised how many of them would cape for us. They'll even do content for black women, inspiring black women, but the whole time they really cannot stand us. But they will capitalize off of our emotions because, see, black women, we don't get a lot of support. So anytime we get someone supporting us, even a queen, we gravitate towards them and we take them in wholeheartedly. But the whole time, these queens are no different. They will become your friend. They will side with you. They will become a fan, supporter, do all of that just to get close to you. Because some of these queens think that if they hang around enough of black women that they will convince themselves that they are a black woman. Or it's either that or they're trying to get close to a black man that affiliates with you. There's a couple of things going on here. So I think when these queens are caping for Martell, either one, y'all still have the mindset of the typical bitter black man. Even though you throwing you waving your hands side to side and you're talking like this and you know acting like you just have so much love for black women. A lot of them don't. They don't. People will invite you just to fight you. I mean, they'll invite you to their panels, invite you to all type of events or whatever, and it's just a setup. Some of these men really do not like black women, but they'll capitalize off us. They'll make us think they for us so we can buy their t-shirts and tie to their channel, send them the cash app, the super chats, watch their shows. They're always capitalizing off of the emotions of black women. That's why Carlos loves negative energy on his show, because he feels like black women were drawn to that. Black people were drawn to that. So he wants to keep pushing things to be messy, to keep getting views and ratings, and he's not caring at the expense of others. Nobody wants to work in a hostile environment, but his time is coming too. So these queens that act like they're so crazy about black women, I don't care if they interview you, I don't care if they invite you over to dinner. You got some of them that's really genuine and on point, but for the most part, a lot of these queens are still black men. And you don't know if the reason they turned that way had a lot to do with the way black women rejected them. And now that they're in another world, they're getting attention from the same sex. Now they want to look at black women with disgust when once upon a time you wanted one before you became one. You know, or some of them got mommy issues, you know. And then my mother is black, so they take it out on all black women. But ladies, we got to be willing to read the signs. You can't get too comfortable with these queens and everybody who act like they all for male. And, you know, everybody ain't all for male. Everybody is all for males, fans, people who support her, you know. So anyway, I just wanted, you know, to address that whole situation there. Like I said, hopefully God continues to work things out in Melody's favor. I love her new single, Nobody's Business, baby. She is killing it, honey. All right, and I pray Ariana don't try to come out and sing, don't try to do no album, because you know she copies everything Melody does. So I just really hope Ariana just chills at her Airbnb with her box of chicken and continue to toss Martell salad and let that be. Just please don't come out trying to do nothing you see Melody doing, okay? So it is time for our coffee chat segment where I give y'all the celebrity news on some things that are going on within the celebrity world. So first things first, y'all, want to talk about y'all girl Jennifer Lopez, okay? Word on the curve, rumor has it that Jennifer Lopez and her soon to be ex-husband Ben Affleck, they're hitting Splitsville. The marriage is on the rocks, and none of us are really surprised by this. They're saying that Jennifer, no, not Jennifer, but Ben Affleck had actually moved out of you know, the mansion, I guess, that they had together, and she's actually house hunting herself. She's actually looking for a home, and they're not wearing their wedding rings, y'all. And this is according to E! Online, because for a minute it was like a little speculation, and I just want to be sure before I put it out there. But yeah, basically, you could tell that, you know, there's a possibility that they may be splitting up and everything. But now what's kind of going on is they're trying to diffuse the rumors. They recently stepped out with their wedding rings on yesterday, after the news came out about them possibly breaking up after 2 years of marriage. But even Ray Charles can see this marriage is so forced. It's so forced. You know what I mean? Jennifer Lopez, something is mentally, you know, not all the way, the elevator don't go all the way up. I believe Jennifer Lopez is a piece of work. She's already shown that she has an extensive history of going from one man to another man. She has had more men than the army, okay? She's been engaged multiple times. She's been married multiple times. And she's just, listen, I just say, just because a woman is beautiful and attractive, it does not make her wife material. It does not make her relationship material. No different than a man that may be very handsome, very successful, but it doesn't mean he's a husband material. You know what I mean? She did reunite with Ben Affleck back in 2021 after they had called it off for damn near 20 years. And Ben even moved on, remarried another woman named Jennifer, coincidentally, had children, only for that not to work out. And, you know, now they're back together. And I'm like, for y'all to break up in the first place and to be separated all them years, I mean, I just think it was a desperate attempt. Me personally, I think Jennifer Lopez I would say that she's a beautiful woman. She's very talented. Can she sing? I don't think she can. But nevertheless, you got to give credit where credit is due. Obviously, she's successful. So, I just think with Jennifer Lopez, she's one of those women because of her success. It's automatically this entitlement of, I'm supposed to have a man who wants me. I'm supposed to be a wife because I'm Jennifer Lopez. And that's not necessarily the truth. You have some women that are very insecure, very possessive. Kind of like Halle Berry. As beautiful as Halle Berry is, nobody can ever understand why she has had a track record of multiple failed relationships and marriages. Just because a woman is beautiful doesn't mean she does not have mental issues. We don't see how these women are behind closed doors. We don't know if they have problems with drinking, if they drink too much, if they're overly possessive, are they clingy, insecure. A lot of these beautiful women don't think they have all this confidence because they're beautiful. In fact, you have women that are very beautiful and have much less confidence than women that are unattractive. I mean, it's just the truth. Now, Jennifer Lopez has been with Alex Rodriguez from 2017 to 2021. Supposedly she dated Drake back in 2016. Then she dated one of her background dancers, a young guy, which I knew that was a recipe for disaster. Casper Smart from 2011 and 2016. He was 18 years her junior, and I remember she even brought him a nice truck, made him her boy toy. And I mean, even these young dudes, after a while, they don't care about your money. They don't care how pretty or attractive you look. They just still, want to go out there and sling peen. So even with her success and her money, she could not keep that young dude humble to her. You know what I'm saying? So they ended up calling it quits in 2016. And it was because she kicked him out because he cheated on her and he got caught. And even though he had promised her he would never do it again, Jennifer was like, oh, hell no. You screw me once, that's it. So it was done, and it was done. Because he was missing that boy toy luxury. When you with a woman that got money like that, listen, you get access to a lot of things. And he lost, he lost that truck. He lost that full-time membership to Starbucks. Listen, I would have been the main reason I would have stayed. Because you know how these celebrities get free Starbucks? Starbucks be hooking these celebrities up. They ain't got to pay for a cup. But anyway, she was also married to Mark Anthony from 2004 to 2011. And I really believe that happened because Jennifer Lopez wanted a family. And she she'd rather have had a man of her descent that was also Puerto Rican or also have her children from. I don't think she wanted to have kids of other races from other men. I think she kind of wanted to keep her culture, her ethnicity. So I think that was more so kind of her reasoning for marrying Mark Anthony and having children from him. Believe it or not, Mark Anthony is an actor. He played in the movie The Substitute, okay? And he's also a singer as well. You may not be familiar with his music unless you're in that type of Latin world where they do Latin music. I did used to like his song, I Need to Know. They used to play that all the time on the radio. I used to love that, I Need to Know. But anyway, yeah, that I think he was the longest that she had been with. Was Mark Anthony. So they have like I said, two beautiful children together, and they did marry June 2024. And what else did they have? Yeah, they had twins, Max and Emmy, in 2008. But one thing with Mark Anthony, he did not play the radio. He was very strict, very stern. And he was not going to let Jennifer Lopez handle him all kind of way and wear the pants. He was very dominant. So I just think she couldn't deal with that. She wasn't about to deal with a man that pretty much regulated everything. But, they still friends. And, they're in a better place with each other. And they got two beautiful kids. So it wasn't a total waste. or whatever. She did say he really helped her with her confidence when he seen how she suffered and all of that. But yeah, but kudos to them. But of course that didn't work out. And of course she was with Ben Affleck in 2002 and 2004. Now my other thing with this is Ben Affleck left her because he could not deal with all of the fame surrounding her. He could not deal with all the publicity. Ben Affleck was a handsome, like, laid back type of guy. You didn't see him all over the place. I don't think he really liked too much spotlight. I don't think he cared for all that attention. And that ultimately became the demise of their relationship the first time. That's why he left. Got with his plain Jane Jennifer, and he seemed so much happier because paparazzi wasn't on him as much. He had a private life where he was able just to enjoy his wife and his children. So I'm a bit taken back when I find out, he goes back to her, because I'm like, dude, that's the reason why you left her in the first place. You couldn't deal with all that publicity and all of that, being scrutinized. You know what I mean? When you're with a big star, everything about you comes out. That's why we know everything about Nicki Minaj's husband. We know he's a registered sex offender. I mean, when you get with these stars, all of your personal business, your faults, your flaws, your failures is going to come out. Jennifer Lopez, on the other hand, she was very in love with him. She even wrote a song called Dear Ben. So I think personally that Ben was the man who she probably was the most in love with. And because of his looks, and I just think she was more so infatuated with Ben than anything. But like I said, I don't know what made them spin a block. Look, spinning the block don't work for everybody. If so far it's working for Nelly and Ashanti, but listen, sometimes you got to leave people on a damn block. Well, she's Jenny from the block. He should have left Jenny on the block and not had ever decided to spin the block, okay? That was one time he shouldn't have spun the block. He should have left J-Lo on the block, okay? But nevertheless, he went back, and they're trying to, save face, because everybody's putting it out there that they done broke up, so they wearing these rings. Listen, y'all don't have to fake the funk. If you're not happy, you're miserable, nobody has to deal with that misery except y'all. Just go ahead and end it. We're not going to judge you. First of all, you won't be the first man that left Ben, and you're not going to be the last. Jennifer, you just might need to be by yourself, because you're a piece of work. You know what I mean? Just because you're a beautiful, successful woman, it does not mean that you should be a wife. You may not be fit to be a wife. She was married to the other background dancer, Chris Judd, from 2001 and 2002. Girl, I mean, she got more rings than a damn tub in the prison, okay? Sean Diddy Combs, she was with him from 1999 to 2001. And child, that was only because you was trying to get a little notoriety from the other side, okay? You wasn't really feeling Sean Diddy like that. But her very, very first boyfriend was a guy named Ohani Noah from 97 to 98. That was when she was a fly girl, I guess, on A Living Color. He was a nice looking guy too, whatever. But I remember he was going to put the tell-all out book on them at one point in time. And I think she had to pay him off or whatever for him not to put it out there. But he was a waiter at a Cuban restaurant in Miami. They wed in 97 before divorcing on January 98 after 11 months of marriage. So they seem to have been on good terms for some time, when Lopez even hired Noah to manage a Cuban restaurant, and she opened in Los Angeles in 2002 for $1,000 a week. When she fired him 6 months later, Noah reportedly sued her for breach of contract. The lawsuit ended in a settlement that prohibited Noah from publicly disparaging or revealing intimate details about Lopez for monetary gain. Despite that, Noah began to shop around for a book that covered his brief marriage to Lopez, for which she sued him in 2006. Things got even more hostile in 2009 when Lopez sent cease and desist letters to Noah for bringing production on mockumentary titled How I Married Jennifer Lopez. The movie's producer, Claudia Vasquez, attempted to sue Lopez for $10 million for interfering with the production. A judge ultimately dismissed the lawsuit. Throughout the years of legal conflict, Noah and his business associates threatened to release home videotapes of Lopez from their honeymoon, though a judge banned the tapes from being released in 2009. Ooh, child, when people start noticing you getting into the dollars and making the money, baby, they want to start exposing all kind of stuff. So that's the deal with your girl Jennifer Lopez and Ben. I'm gonna go ahead and charge these two with just straight foolishness. Y'all need to divorce and never get back together. Just stay friends. I recommend Jennifer, you don't need to get another man. Just keep male friends. Have you a cut friend. You getting older and older now, girl. Those wrinkles are slowly but surely they sliding on in there. One thing about these Latino and white women, or women that have very fair complexion like Beyonce, they tend to age earlier. So you got to be mindful, girl. I mean, you Asian now, you don't be wasting your time playing, entertaining all the wrong men in your life, because you ain't got a lot of time. Sooner than later, you're going to have to pick a plan with AARP. So you're going to have to stop, going from man to man. But anyway, that's the deal with that. 50 exposes King Combs. Now, y'all know ever since Diddy Combs' home has been raided, it has been a fiasco, y'all. It's been a never ending. And 50 has always been the king of trolling, okay? He's the prince of trolling, okay? I for one, I am a fan of 50 Cent. And I'm on his Instagram page a lot, and he's always, trolling and throwing shade at a lot of the celebrities, especially the ones that he do not like. More so particularly, especially Diddy. He does not like Diddy. He cannot stand Diddy. I'm going to play a snippet, y'all. This just goes to show. Just because you are rich and a celebrity, it does not mean that your children are being raised with intelligence and common sense. King Combs, which is the son that is an exact replica of Diddy. He's very arrogant, very egotistical. He had the audacity to do a diss song towards 50 Cent, actually self-incriminating himself, giving some information that the feds don't need to be knowing. He released a diss track about 50 Cent, and he references to the federal aids in the song, y'all. Diss tracks are all the rage, and the latest installment comes from Sean Diddy Combs' son, Christian King Combs. Just on Sunday night, King Combs released a song called Pick a Side, which references federal agents' raid of Diddy's two homes in March, and Curtis 50 Cent Jackson's continuous social media posts on the Bad Boy Entertainment. Police raid the crib like they think we selling crack. But what we out here selling tracks, multi-million-dollar plaques. The 26-year-old raps in one verse. And another verse, referencing the raid, he raps, knock down these doors. Let me sure I say this right. Knock these doors down like they from them Fetty boys running both our cribs. Too bad they didn't know we bought the one next door, because that's the one they missed. Now, why would you put that information? Letting the feds know they was knocking on the wrong door. Everything that they was looking for was next door. Why do that? Now, it could be one of two things. Either he's trolling to make himself seem harder than what he is, or either he's really dumb as hell and gave the feds free game to know, hey, y'all checked the wrong house. Y'all should have been checking over here. All of this to, have a one-up on 50 Cent, and 50 Cent laughed at him. You know what I'm saying? Like, why would you self-incriminate yourself? Why would you do that? You know what I mean? And 50 Cent, of course, he responded to King Combs' diss, He said sarcastically, I feel so threatened by the things Christian is saying on his record. I'm afraid for my life. Please don't hurt me, guys. I never mentioned or posted anything about Puffy's kids because Keefe D said he killed Tupac. LOL. The latter half referred to Dwayne Keefe D was indicted by Nevada grand jury for the 1996 drive-by shooting of rapper Tupac Shakur. Rumors have circulated for decades that Diddy was responsible for orchestrating the Las Vegas shooting. In another post, the 21 Questions rapper wrote, "Now why would you say something like this when you know the feds are investigating? Is you stupid or is you dumb?" And that's exactly the question that I have. Diddy, really? You need to talk with your son. Okay, because y'all are still in hot water. Y'all don't need to be giving the feds no information. Like I said, unless he called himself trolling, I'm not sure. But that was not a smart move. But this is what happens when you raise your children to think they are entitled, to think they are above the law. They put themselves in a position in which they end up hurting themselves in the event they were to have any run-in with the laws. And I don't think Christian Combs truly understands his father is literally in hot water. He does not need to be making no moves. He does not need to be, dropping no hints or nothing, because this thing is far from over. And before he knows it, his father is Diddy could very well end up doing time for this. Now, this is another thing, y'all. Believe it or not, Diddy's white mule, the guy who they caught at the airplane, at the airport in when I was 𝓜𝓸𝓬𝓱𝓪'𝓼, Florida, when Diddy caught himself trying to escape or whatever, and they was going to get ready to take off, and he had his mule with him, which is the white guy who basically was selling on the side or involved in some type of drug, allegedly, with Diddy Combs. Well, he has agreed to drop some info, to drop a dime on Diddy and what he knows. So basically, it's not looking good. His alleged drug mule exposes him, and he is working with the feds, which everybody pretty much knew that was going to happen. Matter of fact, the guy shows the name of the guy is basically 25-year-old Brandon Paul. And he was arrested March 28th of 2024. And he was taken into custody of Miami 𝓜𝓸𝓬𝓱𝓪'𝓼 Executive Airport on Monday. But he has recently agreed that he is going to work with the feds. So he doesn't have to serve a lot of time. And let me tell you something. He's a white man. So he's not going all the way down for Diddy, which I don't blame him. I would not either. So what's going to end up happening is he's working with the feds. He's going to get them all the information that they need. Not only that, once he does, he's going to most likely be in protective, what they call protective custody or whatever, in which they will never ever be able to live in the States, because Diddy knows a lot of people. That man will not be able to be normal, come out and live a normal life, knowing that he's working with the feds. So most likely, that's going to be the next thing. They're going to end up putting him in protective custody, where his name is going to get changed. He's going to have to relocate to an island somewhere, that way Diddy can't, put a target on his head, you know what I mean? Because Diddy got a lot of goons, even though he's a cornball and he's lame as hell, but he does have a lot of goons. But he was accused of being a mule for the music moguls, drugs, and guns. And now he is working with the feds. He's working with the feds. That way he can get less time. Do I blame him? I don't blame him. I would snitch 1,000%. Everybody can't do like Shine. Shine took 10 years for Diddy, knowing he had nothing to do with that shooting. But Shine respected the street code because, you know, you can't snitch. And he took those 10 years like a champ. But now, that's another thing. Even the ladies coming out and saying that it was not Shine who shot her, it was Diddy. She still wants Diddy arrested for the shooting. Even though another person did 10 years stating that they were the ones who did it. The lady said, no, it was not Shine. He did not do it. It was Diddy. I want him to serve time for what he did to me. So, honey, Diddy is nowhere in the clear yet. So the last thing his son need to be doing is running his mouth. But you know, these young people, when y'all got them bougie as hell and you ain't give them no common sense, listen, learn to give your children wisdom and common sense like you do money, like you do iPhones, like you do tablets. Learn to give them wisdom and common sense, okay? That's going to bring them much further than Jordans, limos, bank accounts. Give your children some wisdom, okay, and knowledge. Lastly, Love and Marriage flopping with ratings. No shit, Sherlock, okay? Everybody's been blacking out. People have not been watching. I've been noticing a lot of bloggers basically saying don't watch Love and Marriage. We blacking out, you know, and honestly, I've been stopped watching it. I blacked out the last 4-5 seasons. I think once Martell started doing all his fuckboy shenanigans, I couldn't take it. It wasn't entertaining anymore to me. It was grieving my spirit. To see Carlos still bring him back. I been fell off the show, so I wasn't one that had to join the blackout because I've been blacked out several seasons ago. But the ratings are plummeting, y'all. The ratings are dropping like Walmart rollback prices. Nobody's not feeling it. You got to realize all of us are getting older now. Everybody's not with the shenanigans. You know, what was entertaining and funny is no longer serving a lot of people. Not only that, we tired of the dry storylines. Marceau and Tisha still hiding their personal problems. Their storyline is keeping up with everybody else's problems. Same thing with Kimmy and Maurice. Nobody has no real storylines. The storyline is either talk about Mel or talk about Sonny or talk about everything else. But y'all not talking about y'all lawsuits with Zen Gardens. Y'all not talking about the Black Club, you know, how that's not doing well. It's just a lot of fakeness and hip hop, and it's just a lot of artificial energy going on with these reality shows. So nobody just not feeling it anymore. Nobody's not interested. And the fact that we seeing Mel get mistreated, that really did not help. It didn't do the show no justice. And it needs to go ahead and shut down anyway, because Martell, from the looks of it, is not going to be able to be in any contact with Melody based off this court order. So they're not going to be able to be doing the show together. Or if the show were to continue, they're not going to be able to do no scenes at all. But that's still too close for comfort, because if they still have mutual friends and they friends are going back and telling Martell what Mel is doing, and even though Martell is court ordered to stay away from her, it defeats the purpose. Because y'all know, like I know, none of them have none of these individuals have neither one of them best interest. They don't have the best interest, Martell or for Melody. And Martell is too dumb to see it. He will allow them to, he will use them to try to get information from Mel, and because they don't like Mel, they'll relay the information back. So God knows what he's doing. I say all that to say this, you know, sometimes when we think people getting away with so much, it infuriates us, it aggravates us, because sometimes we just want God to move instantly when it comes to our enemies. But keep in mind, God is a strategic God. He will allow a person to do as much damage as they want to do, so when that moment comes and he finally shuts down an operation, there's absolutely nothing you can do to redeem yourself, because you got this long, extensive track record of how much stuff you done got away with. So sometimes, as painful as it is, we have to let God fight our battles. It's not always up to us to decide when a person should be punished, how they should be punished. Listen, I got people in my life who did me wrong that I felt should have been punished in so many ways, but God is God, and he don't move how we move. He don't operate how we will operate. That's what makes him God. And make no mistake about it, you done pissed some people off too. I done pissed people off, and God had grace on us as well. You know, when people probably felt like we should have been punished, we should have been casted out, we should have been sent to the pits of hell, So just understand that, we have to trust God to continue to work things out in our favor. So anyway, y'all, that wraps it up with the coffee chat. All right. So before you leave, I do have a special segment coming up for laughs. I want y'all to stand by for that. That's coming up. Hit that like button, y'all. If you haven't subscribed, make sure you subscribe. I'm gonna do some more content coming up relatively soon. So check the community tab, because y'all know that's where I put everything in order to get y'all prepared for the new sermons that are coming up. So I love y'all so much. Thanks to everybody who's been sending me cash apps, donating to Mocha's lucky pot or whatever. So thank y'all. I appreciate it. Those who are not able to donate, just hit the like button and keep stopping by, showing love, and I appreciate that as well. Y'all take care. Enjoy y'all weekend. Be blessed. Holla at y'all soon. Bye.